Hello, everybody. Coming to you with another episode of Paranormal Podcast. And I really feel like my goal with these little episodes, little story times, is to just remind you to never be bored with life because anything and everything could potentially happen in our infinite universe. So, I would like to share with you a true story. And I mean true because I really just want to tell you exactly what happened. And you can just, feel through that. I don't want to over embellish anything. I just really want to stick to the facts because this is truly what happened to me and this is what I have experienced in this lifetime. So, I have a very interesting and I would say intimate connection with lightning. And for those of you who know me, like you've heard these stories before, you have probably maybe seen a video on this a long time ago if you've been on my channel. But to be honest, I took it down because I was feeling just a little apprehensive. I was worried back in the day of like what people thought about me. And fast forward, your girl just like doesn't care anymore. So I just want to like share my truth and yeah, like maybe some people think I'm like a mutant or like an X-Men or something, X-woman. But that's okay because that's actually probably I don't know. I wouldn't say true, but there's some wild things that have gone on since these events. So, let's start from the beginning. So, it all started when I went on a camping trip with a couple of my friends, a few of my friends. I was dating a guy, and a good friend of mine was dating a guy as well, and we thought it was cool to like go in our 4x4s and go up to the mountain and drink a bunch of beer. This is like what we did back in the day. And of course, one of the only stores that we could stop in was Walmart. And, like I said, I'm not going to embellish the story. This is just exactly what happened. So we're literally sitting in a Walmart parking lot. And I decided not to go in. But I believe the boys or somebody went in to go get the beer, whatever. They came back. We're about to take off. And all of a sudden, it's, a very cloudy day. So all of a sudden, there was a lightning bolt strike and it hit the light post that was next to our parked vehicles. Now, this strike branched off into multiple, like, just lines of light. Felt like I had touched a light socket with like wet towel or something. Like I got electrocuted. And it was incredible and it was miraculous that I was okay and I was like completely still coherent through the entire thing. And after it happened, after the initial bolt and flash and the light post is like steaming and there's like that smell of fire, my friends are like, "Oh my God, Danielle, like you literally just got struck by lightning." And that is when I remember just blanking the experience out. I went home. My mom like kind of treated me. She said she remembered me being in bed for like 2 weeks. I was basically going through PTSD flashbacks, but shutting down. My nervous system completely shut down. So I was like asleep. I was like in off mode. Because as soon as you like light up all the circuits in the human body, like it just shuts down. Like I didn't have the capacity. So I remember just being in bed, my head hurt like crazy, constant migraine. But the crazy thing is that my memory was slipping. Like I didn't want to remember the PTSD was so intense, the trauma was so like it was so much for my nervous system that my brain chose to forget the actual memory. And so it wasn't until years later that I got myofascial release and I went through, deep regressions and meditations. The memory started to come up and it kind of filtered back in. And now kind of like pretty much remember most of the event. And so things like this happen all the time. This was before social media, and like you've seen videos, this happens all the time where lightning strikes will just come out of nowhere. Boom. And they're loud. The sound itself is deafening, okay? And so this was, unfortunately, this happened to me. I just happened to be standing, and no one else experienced that amount of voltage. And for me, I do feel like it was on a spiritual level, of course. I was doing some dumb things. I was talking to you about being in a Walmart parking lot, getting beer, and going to go get drunk with my boyfriend. So I think spirit was like, okay, it's time to do your spiritual awakening, because after that, move forward a few years, I got better through the nervous system shutdown. I experienced, like, over the years, very intense, just it was like seizures almost, like where my mind would just my brain would just over compensate for everything, and I was like very sensitive to stimulus. So it was like an overstimulation on every single level. My mind, my sight, my psyche, my eyes, like, were so sensitive to light for a very long time. And it's interesting talking about this now, because I'm thinking that I've really healed a lot of this stuff. But oh my gosh. So for a long time, I was really struggling with those symptoms of PTSD, just being very sensitive to every bit of light. I never had the lights on in my house. Everyone would comment, like, you're always in a cave, it's always dark. And I'm like, you guys, I just need it to be this way. So anyway, I dealt with all that stuff. And then over time, I kind of got better, but then I realized that something was going on. I was like circuiting a lot of energy, a lot of light, and I was having my spiritual awakening. So, like I said, fast forward a couple years, I'm basically in a mountain range deciding to go on a hike, and there seems to be like cloud cover. It's not raining, but I decide, like an idiot, to go up on this mountain, right? Never do this, by the way, never. But I was like a rebel being, just wanting to get a really good run. Yeah, so anyway, I find myself on the top of like this mountain, and it does start to rain, and I know there's like lightning coming. I can feel it in the air. And all of a sudden, it just starts to really like get that, that static when you take a balloon over your hair. That started to happen. And all of a sudden, my inner voice, it was literally like God, said, you better run and hide. And I knew I didn't have time to like fully get off the mountain. So I looked for anything to cover. And what I found was this boulder was kind of etched into the side of this switchback. And I kind of nudged myself underneath this boulder. And lo and behold, that mountain was lit up with lightning. And it's the static from it just electrified me. And I didn't get a direct, hit or anything, but I heard it and I was there, and it almost like was attracted to me. It was almost like I felt like it was following me. Like I said, I had to run under that boulder. Spirit was telling me, like, you have something now and you better be careful. You better watch it. Like, it's a part of you. It's already a part of the entire atmosphere, and it's what keeps the planet alive. Lightning is very common, and it's like a pulse, and it keeps like the heart of the planet alive. And I've learned that, wow, it is such an incredible, just powerful element to even work with. And I since then, as some of you have known, I've done a lot of healing work, and I over the years I've actually met amazing healers and practitioners, and some of them have told me that it's actually part of some initiations in old ancient times. That would be an initiation for someone who is going into shamanic practices. And I just think that's amazing. And I've heard of also native tribes of, collected members that have lightning medicine. And it's an honor. It's something that there's like brothers and sisters of lightning. And so I've learned that it's a medicine and it's an art and it's something terrifying and beautiful, extraordinarily powerful to work with. And so I think we all have our medicine to work with. There's so many amazing things that the human being can be exposed to and work through it. So I just wanted to share with you that this stuff happens, and it's very cool, and it's also very scary sometimes. So be careful what you wish for. I think at the time I was wanting to amp up, so Spirit was like, here you go. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you all. And thank you all so much for watching. I hope you tune into the next one. You take care.